Hey there, thanks for stopping by my website and checking out the video. Promise to have you in and out of here in under 5 minutes. So what is a digital make good? The definition of to make good on something is simply to fulfill an obligation. Let me give you a little background. I spent 28 years in dealerships, started in accounting, promoted to controller, and finally a GM. I then spent the next 6 years at a marketing agency and specialized in automotive digital SEM. There I found that digital agencies love to confuse us dealers with abbreviations and acronyms. And I also found there really isn't any type of post-buy audit being performed on the digital side of our marketing budgets. Nobody's making sure your agency is making good on their obligation. Some agencies take the transparency right out of your digital buys. I want to show you 2 ways that transparency may be taken away from you. The first way, gross versus net. You know what net and gross looks like on your TV and radio invoices, and you probably agreed to the typical 15% agency commission. But what about SEM? Is your digital commission disclosed on your contract, or is it just assumed? I'll tell you that while 15% may be the norm for traditional buys, I've seen undisclosed digital percentages end up as high as 25, even 35%. Now, even if your percentage is on your contract, is it on your invoice? Pull one. Do you see gross and net? Is the agency commission disclosed at all? The second way you may have lost some transparency is, did you know that not all of those net dollars actually spend out each month? It's impossible for an exact dollar to spend, say, for example, on Google search, and depending on your agency, those unspent dollars may or may not be accounted for. In most cases, they're not. The agency scoops them in as profit. Have you ever gotten a credit or a refund for the prior month? I doubt it. So what is the acceptable amount you're okay with your agency scooping? 1%? 5%? Have you ever even had this discussion with your agency? I believe that discussion rarely happens because most agencies don't include the actual spend on their monthly performance reports. On your reports, do you see what actually spent? Or just metrics like clicks and impressions, like what's at the bottom? Would you be surprised to know that this dealer's budget was $7,500 and you see what's spent? Come on, Laura, it's not that much money. Okay, well, let's do some easy math. Say you have a $10,000 budget for Google, another $2,000 on Facebook, and $2,500 on Bing. That's a $14,500 gross budget. Assuming you have a 15% agency commission, this leaves $12,325 to spend on media. Since we know it's impossible for the exact dollar to spend, let's assume between 1 and 5% gets scooped up by your agency each month in unspent funds. Guys, that could be an additional $1,500 to $7,300 a year in this example. I'd love to see just how much of a digital make good you may be due. I need a few items from both you and your agency. First, I want to know what you're okay with not spending each month. Then I'll take your last 12 months of invoices and performance reports, confirm some things in Google Analytics, and start the audit. I have the verbiage in an email that you can simply cut and paste to send to your agency for the items on the right. If they give you any pushback, you gotta wonder why. By the way, this email will ask them to tell you up front what they deem is acceptable not to spend. Is that then okay with you, or do you want all the money credited back to you that didn't spend? After all, you paid for it. They made their agreed upon commissions, and then some. So here we are. What's it cost you? If I perform the audit and determine there's no credit due back to you, it cost you $0. Nothing. If I do find you're owed a digital make good, all I ask for doing the work and therefore putting your agency on notice that you're inspecting their work, 50% of what I find. Finally, check out my website and you'll find that in addition to the digital make good audit, I can also fill some additional needs you may have in this space. Would be happy to chat about it with you. Thanks again for your time, and I'm excited to get to work to make sure you're getting exactly what you're paying for. Call, text, or email me right now.